I want to thank you guys for being here tonight on this beautiful Monday. No matter where you're at, no matter what, it's beautiful because we're alive and we're able to be here today. I wanted to get into a few things and talking with everybody about it. Let me shut this down over here. All right, cool. So tonight on this Mindset Monday, the objective of me doing Mindset Mondays is to make sure before Thursday get here and we can talk about investments, real estate, everything that's going on, projects we're all doing. I want us to kick off the week with being able to adjust our minds, being able to adjust what we want to do, just in case the weekend wasn't productive, just in case something on the weekend, we didn't come in on a high note. This is the place where we get together. We're going to recharge. We're going to remind ourselves continuously what it is. This thing on my hat is like little things like that will drive me crazy the whole day. Little things like that will drive me nuts. So now what we want to do is remind ourselves, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? And the purpose must always be bigger than us. If we look at the purpose as being us, then actually how big is that? That is only is going to go as far as what we see ourselves owning and holding. You know, if it's the children, okay, that's as far as they go. If it's to get some real estate, that's as far as it's going to go. If it's just to create a legacy for some people, as far as it's going to go. If it's just to get out of my job, that's as far as it's going to go. The vision must always be so big that it scares you. If your goals and your dreams don't scare you, you're not envisioning and thinking hard enough. Like they should literally be super scary. I always tell you guys, I think to the point where I get scared and I gotta like start like going, whoa, I'm going too far with my thoughts. That's the same thing you should do. I mentioned to you guys, I threw a thing called my Tuesdays are for my euphoria thoughts. I don't do any meetings. I don't want to have any calls unless I need to. But Tuesdays are for me to really think about the business, think about everything, and build off the thought. Like if I know I want to say, okay, I want to own some real estate. What states do I want to be in? Where do I want to go with this real estate? Well, I'll go further than that. I go, well, what is the opportunity for me to look at getting land in this area? And then I might want to go deeper than that. What are the thoughts of me looking to want to develop in this area? Then I even probably go deeper than that. I go, okay, who can I look to? Who can I talk to? A network that's doing this thing here. Then I even go further than that. I will go, okay, what would it take me? How much money for me to get that done? Then I go deeper than that. Go, well, okay, how many people can I bring in on this deal and how can we go? Then I go deeper than that. I'll start narrowing it down. Like, I don't never want you to stop at the thought because you know what? There's a greater thought lying behind that one. If you just took your time to just wait a minute, just wait a minute and don't be so quick to rush on the first good idea that comes to you. Like, oh, that's a good idea. But what if you just were to sit back and just go, okay, how can I build off of that? And remember, your first thought naturally that you get is going to be something that you can do yourself. Something that you can do yourself. But what is the one consistent thing we all talk about? Your time is valuable. So if you now came up with a thought, and the thought is something that you can do, you're taking away time. So now you need to come up with the thought, come up with the people to execute the thought, so you can now find the next thought that's waiting behind that one. Like it should never be, what can I do to keep myself busy? What should I do to come up with the thought to create that thing and hire somebody else? I just got me a new assistant now. That's going to be taking care of a lot of stuff on my plate. That's going to allow me to grow. That's going to allow me to execute. Like there's no task too small that you feel you should be doing. Some of them, yeah, but none too small. And I want everybody to think about this, right? Because every time I talk about this, it reminds me of something. How many of our parents were great executioners of delegating duties to us that they didn't want to do? And I'm going to give you one that hits home for me. My father used to call me from upstairs to come turn the TV. Come on, Thomas. Come on, Antonio. Marv, Sterling, Lessa, Rochelle, Dana. How many of our parents be like, call me from, come on down here, turn this TV. And you be like, come down. Now you got to turn it. That ain't even it, though. It goes further than that. Because, see, I know this looks funny to some generations. You had a knob, but it goes deeper than that. That's when you would turn and they go, wait, stop. They'd be like, no, wait, stand there. Because they're not even sure if they want to watch that yet. So now you waiting, and now you turn it to the next channel.
Don't forget the antenna.
Just the antenna.
Don't forget the antenna.
I used to have to go outside and turn the antenna to bring the
To
channel
fix the
in.
antenna. Think about this. Good thing we only had about maybe 9 good channels to turn. So we would get to something, a commercial, they'd turn and find another one, but then remember the other one with the commercial we had to turn back. So that was them delegating duties they felt was like small duties they didn't have to do because they were doing the big duties like paying a light bill, keeping food in your stomach, things like that. So they didn't want to do the small duties. So I want y'all to think about this. Any plan that you come up with, your plan should require the person who will execute your plan. Marv, you hear me talking to you, right? The plan that you come up with should come with the person who will execute your plan, not you being the executor. And even to make it more powerful, I want you to find someone that can execute that way better than you and already has experience in that field of executing. I don't want you to say, I want to create this spreadsheet. I want to create this thing. And now you got to go learn how to create the Excel. You got to learn how to come up with writing the book. You have to learn. Nope. I want you to find you a VA, $3, $5 an hour, $7 an hour, whatever it is. And now they skill set will speed up what you were just trying to learn to do, killing your time. Killing your time when you could have spent $50, $75, or even $100 to get that thing drawn up. So now you could become the executor. The goal is for you to become the ultimate thinker and hire the ultimate doer. Doer. We grew up around doers. We know doers. We work with doers. Once we became doers, we became accustomed to being that doer. I want y'all to think about this. A person who's been working 25 years at a job, do they have experience in doing that thing? Or they have seniority in that thing. And let me give you the difference. Seniority could fool you to thinking you have experience when all you have is seniority. You drove a forklift, putting this box up on this shelf. That box, you the best one now. You ain't hitting no other boxes on the side. You whipping it with one hand, you looking around. You got it down pat, picking up them boxes, putting it up in that shelf. When the load comes in, they calling you. Hey, go call Derek. Derek, this is Derek's job. He's the best at it. Derek's efficient. Derek can get those boxes up there. Derek been doing this for 25 years. Derek actually mastered to put those boxes up there in 1 year. 1 year, he became the best one. Derek just kept doing it for 25 years. That didn't give him 25 years of experience. His experience was capped once he became the best one and he couldn't learn to do nothing else. He just kept repeating the same thing. So now when they say, how many years experience you got putting those boxes up? He would say 25 when in actuality, he has 1. He just kept doing the same thing over. You have 25 years of seniority working at that job. But let me tell you, if they were to take Derek out of that job, put him in a new job where he had to put boxes up, doing the same thing, he would do that job so well. But guess what? His seniority will start back from zero. But his experience with putting those boxes up would automatically go back to the 1 year when he knew how to do those boxes. He lost the time when he went to the new job, but his experience in being able to put those boxes up, he was doing for 25 years. He's not taking 25 years of putting boxes up to that next job. He got to start back at zero. He's starting back at zero. But we are taught to believe experience and seniority is the same thing. Your experience for doing something was 1 year. I hope this ain't go by. And like, he had 1 year of being able to put boxes up, but he stayed at that job for 25 years uploading boxes until the day he was fired and had to go get another job, or the day he retired. And now they said, well, how many years of experience you been putting boxes up? He's going to say 25 years. They didn't say how many years of seniority you had at the last job. He had 25 years of experience putting the boxes up. It's a myth, y'all. The day you learned how to walk, I'm trying not to say it because I want y'all to get it. The day you learned how to walk, whatever age you are now, you don't have that many years of experience in walking. The challenge was over once you learned how to walk. You got it? The simplest form. Once you learn how to walk up, that's it. Now go do this until the day we no longer here. We don't walk around earth going, man, I got 52 years experience in walking. No, the challenge was over, y'all. That's where I'm going. So that's why I want you to learn how to delegate these duties. That's why I want you to learn how to delegate these duties, to hire people, to get people who will understand more than you, like get people who have that knowledge. Jeff, I'm going to make you co-host so you can let people in because I'm not seeing them when they want to get in here. So I want y'all to get on that time train of going, my time and my mortality is short, right? I have this thing, and it's not a bad thing. Now, I used to think it was a bad thing. I watched this podcast where this dude says he thinks about death a lot, and it helps him realize the things he need to do. And I'm that person. Like, I really think about death a lot, like my mortality a lot, and it pushes me to get things done. So I focus on, man, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. And he says something profound in this podcast. He said, people will look at Betty White, who lived to be 99 years old, or 96, 99, one of those numbers, and say, she lived a long life. But then we will look at somebody like Kobe Bryant, who died, and we will say, gone too soon. What made one more prevalent than the other? Was it the time they had or the thing they accomplished in that amount of time? And the reason why that's so important, because if you had somebody who's 90 years old, I bet you there's something they would say that they would go, there's still some things I want to do. There's never a good time to die unless you know it's just going to happen. But if somebody were to tell you, you're going to die tomorrow, I bet you're going to be like, listen, I still got stuff to do. I don't care how old you are. So that's why it's so important to maximize your time by giving it other people things to do so you can go about doing the things. I told you guys I need everyone to have their whiteboards up with things you're going to have done and stuff that you need to accomplish. And it's starting off the year, I'm going to get to your whiteboards. That's right, I see you. I'm going to make sure we get to our whiteboards, and I'm going to ask y'all, what is it that we're trying to get done? What is the goals here? And each one of those things, you got to delegate it to have that person do it. Those people need to do it. I want y'all to value your time more important than the actual task, because the time has to be valued in order to get the task delegated so you could go into the next thought. There was the gentleman who created Twitter. I can't think his last name is slipping me now. It's with a D something, but he left Twitter to go create Square. And he knew that his time was so short that he didn't want to think about trying to run Twitter when he had a plan to do something with Square, that device we put in the phone and swipe the credit cards. Like, he knew he had that to do, and that was his mission, but he also knew he had another plan. Like, once you get something to the point where it's running, you need to start focusing on the next thing. Like, that thing that you're trying to build and you're trying to grow, you need to get it to the point where somebody else could run it so you can go focus on the next thing. Because I always tell you guys, when you say something like, I want to become a better version of myself, the better version of you wasn't enough to accomplish the goal that you've been trying to accomplish. So why say, I'm going to become a better version of the person who couldn't even get something done? You need to reinvent yourself and change completely. If 50% of your business is going well and the other 50% isn't, then guess what? That 50% that hasn't been working, you don't know what you need to do to fix that because it hasn't been fixed. You need to literally strip yourself down, give the 50% that's working to somebody to run that, but you need to strip yourself down, say, okay, I'm changing everything. I'm going to change who I am because that version of me hasn't been working. You have to become a new version of yourself. You have to change who you are completely, because if your relationships ain't working, where you're trying to go with this relationship isn't working, how are you going to become better when that person who don't know how to make that relationship get to where it needs to go, you can't make him figure it out. He's going to become more efficient at being a procrastinator. You can become a more efficient antagonistic person. You can become more efficient in all the things that you're doing wrong. Change. Every time you get on this call, I need you to be better than the last time you was on the last Monday call. I need you to change who you were from the last Monday, because I'm going to input things in you, right? So now I want to give you guys something I want you to think about. Now I'm in the zone of talking about the relationships. We have 3 crucial relationships in our life: sandbox relationships, lunchbox relationships, and an owner's box relationship. Man, that's good. That's good. Sandbox relationships. Those are the people who you grew up with. Those are your childhood friends. Those are the people who help nurture you, help you make decisions, help you do bad things, but then help you do good things, and then help you see where you need to be and what you don't want to do. That's the sandbox. But now I want you to think about how many people from your sandbox relationship you took to the lunchbox relationship. How many people you work with and now they went from the sandbox and they got a job with you? Very few. But you've learned to develop new relationships at the job, your lunchbox relationships. People at the job who can tell you about the 401ks, how much more time you have to retire, who's not to work with, who this, and you actually start doing little events. They have the job barbecues. Some jobs have the baseball, the bowling leagues, all this. Your lunchbox relationships. Some people take those lunchbox relationships all the way into retirement, which could be good. Some people take those lunchbox relationships all the way to the point where now you're building families together. Your son, your daughter, you're turning this thing into a big ecosystem. Started from the lunchbox relationships. But for me, I'm going to tell you, my goal has always been owner box relationships. Getting into that owner's box. Those are businesses. Those are CEOs, COOs. COOs, CCO. The shortest initial that you have titled to your name, the more important you are. I want you to think about that. I want y'all to think about district manager of product creation. Oh, you can fire him. I want you to think about liaison to the assistant of the product in the Eastern District. Oh, you can fire them. I want you to think about all these long titles. That's just a placeholder. Your goal should be the PhD, CEO, all of those. Get all those alphabets. That's power, right? So now let's stick to this. Let's stick to this kind of relationship where it's the owner's box. This comes from you becoming an entrepreneur and realizing you want to build relationships with people who are building businesses. Your sandbox relationship, most of the time that will not get you, that won't follow you into trying to have that owner's box relationship. That lunchbox relationship won't get you to the owner's box relationships. These are all seasonal relationships. If you want to become the entrepreneur, the CEO, the person who's building out that business, the person who's creating this thing, you need to understand that those relationships had a time in your life, but this one here that you're developing in these communities and what you're trying to do, those are the ones you should focus on. I always tell people what my mentor told me, actually. When you want to do something, I want you to find the person that's doing it at the highest level and find out what could you do for them. How could you become an asset to them? Even if you send them a message, send them an email, send them something. I sent a message to my first mentor when I was getting into out-of-state real estate, where I asked him a question and he answered the question. But then I realized he wasn't answering my questions after I asked like 3 or 4. You know why? Because I wasn't bringing value. I brought value when I asked them, do you need someone to calculate your deals? Or here's a good state. Have you considered this? Like I started now throwing out things to him where he was going, oh, okay, you working. You really doing the work. See, because people in high places who you want to network with, they can't tell if you're taking their information and you're actually doing the work. You could just be a pest. Owner's box relationships require you to actually go to events that cost you money. Cost you money. Filtering the room. I've learned my lesson going to free events where I'm talking to somebody, I'm networking with them, and I'm, building up this network. And I'm like, yeah, so what do you do? Why are you here? Oh, I didn't have nothing to do, so I just came out. Nah, I gave you 30 minutes, 40 minutes, exchanged numbers and everything, and you just came here to be here. I want you to pay to be in those spaces around people who are paid to be in those other rooms. So now you can network with them. And now if somebody paid $1,000 to be somewhere, they serious. Somebody paid $5,000, they serious. 10, 20, 30, whatever level you want to start working your way up to. But get into that space so you can start getting that information. You can start now, this person would know somebody else. Relationships are the key. The essence of building blocks to anything you want is through the networking, it's through the relationships. People could say a million things about somebody introducing you to somebody else, which is great because that's a form of the networking. But here's what I want you to look at this, right? If somebody introduces you to somebody, I still want you to nurture the relationship with the person who did the introduction. Because the person who did the introduction is going to be your mouthpiece. So the more you work with them, the more you show them you're consistent, the more you show that you can do something, guess what they're going to say to the person they know? Yeah, man, I'm working with Rochelle. She's a killer. She's a beast. She's an assassin. She's like, and now this person is really, but if Rochelle now skipped the line and said, hey, I met you through, and now this person has to figure you out. Now they got to go, Yeah, you diligent? What kind of work do you do? What do you bring to the table? What do you have to offer? But if you stayed working on that relationship there and you partner with that person and now they're the mouthpiece for you, now when they do have an event and now that person says, I'm doing something in the owner's box, I want to invite that person. And now guess who that person's going to invite? Rochelle. And now when she get inside the box, they already know you've been vetted by the person who I invited. That's why it's so crucial to not feel like you're going to skip this line and you're going to work in the space where you're at. And when you outgrow that space, now you can move to the next one. But us doing things together is the most important thing that we can do. I don't want you to look at money dictating the opportunity to build relationships. I don't want you to let money be the catalyst on how strong or how deep a relationship can be. There are people who literally have not a lot of money, but they can pick up a phone call and contact somebody with a whole lot of money. People will confuse how much a person is worth or how much money they have as being a key component to a relationship, and I've learned this. Somebody could have best cars, the biggest house, but guess what? They can't make a call and get to this other person. They actually will call somebody who has less money than them to actually create the contact. Your network, your social media, your emails, your relationships, everybody I would say the top 10. I always go with top 5, right? Top 10, I'll give it some room. Emails, texts, phone calls should dictate where you're trying to go in life, right? And you need to put the people who call you over and over again and talk about everything that has nothing to do with the direction you're going. You need to start figuring out when you're going to stop answering those calls so frequently. Your headspace is prime real estate. It's your real estate. Why are you letting other people inhabit this space that you need in order to go to that next level? This is prime real estate, and you giving everybody access to it. And you trying to figure out why you're confused in your decision making. And haven't this always happened at key times when you're ready to make a crucial decision on either buying something or starting a business or doing this? You end up calling that person who calls you all the time with no business experience, no real estate experience, no nothing experience, actually, and you tell them, I'm thinking about starting a business. How you talking to somebody who ain't never do nothing about what you're trying to do, and then they're going to go, I heard Ray, he tried to get into real estate and he lost all his money. I heard, see, they starting off with, I heard. You need to surround yourself with people who are doing the thing. Like, I refuse to answer certain phone calls. That's just me. Right? I refuse to call people, some people now. I don't want y'all to think, because some of y'all might have my number, he do that to me. It's only, sir, I don't text people right back. I might not call you back for a day or 2 days, because I want you to think about why you call me, and by the time I call you back, that news ain't news no more. Because if you call them right back, text them right back, now guess who they're going to call? Every time something happens, they go, let me hit Sterling. But now if they know Sterling ain't replying right back, Sterling ain't calling right back, now they're going to move on to the next person. See what I mean? And unfortunately, this goes for family, children, grandchildren too. For real. For real. I understood when I went from full-time employee and how people felt like, oh yeah, you gotta work. I didn't want to call you. You got to go to work tomorrow. You got to do this. Oh, so we can't get together, have get-togethers. We can't have functions because the job was the main reason that they felt like you're too busy. So I understand. But now I developed some more freedom. People looked at it like, well, you're not working no more. How come you're not calling me as much? How come we don't spend time together as much? How come we don't all get together as much? When I freed myself from the trappings of that conversation, they felt like, unfortunately, a lot of people would think, you better than them. And I'm going to tell y'all something, man. You are. And that's not disrespectful. If you don't think you better than somebody or something, then what are you here for? Like, you got to stop humbling yourself. You got to stop humbling your goals. You got to stop saying, I need to hang with this person or be around this person. You got to stop that. How can you be a beacon of light if you still dimming your light so you can be around other people? If you know you deserve to be here and you want that person, I always say this. When people say, oh man, I'm proud of you. I love what you're doing. I always say, I'm just a reflection of you. I'm just a reflection of you. And you know why I continuously say that? It's to build them, and it also to remind myself the day when they want to call me or want to have me help them do something or want me to meet them and, yo, you ain't doing nothing. Can I get on the phone? I'm requiring them to meet me at a certain level. Don't ever let your elevator go back down. You should require somebody's elevator to come up to you. If your elevator has to come down, now you showed them, I bet. I got their ear. I got their attention. I got his attention. Now they're going to call you for random stuff that don't even mean nothing. Oh, I just had a quick question I wanted to ask you. Your time should be worth more than a quick question. Y'all hear me? Your time should be worth more than a quick question. I want you now on, when your text message and your phone calls happen, how important is this message, is this phone call? Where's this key person in being a component and where I'm trying to grow? Where there has to be a payment of your information from somebody else. It don't have to be money. If you feel the information you've obtained and the things you're trying to do has value and wealth, what is the payment they're paying you? Are they paying you in time? Are they paying you in them doing something? Are they paying you? Well, everything has to become transactional, and I hate to put it this way. If I call you and I say, Antonia, I need some information. I need you to, could you help me do this? Like, your brain should automatically go, are they going to use the information? How am I going to make them do some work? That's my thought process. When somebody reaches out to me and I give them that window, I automatically go, are they going to use this information? How am I going to help them do some work? And then I would tell them when they go, oh, yo, I was thinking about doing this. I wanted to, refile. I wanted to do this or home HELOC, this and that and that and that and that. Then I go, okay, so what's the end game? What's the end? Well, because if I get the money now, I'm considering either buying another property, paying for the kids. But if somebody says to you, I just was thinking about doing it and I wanted your opinion. Get the hell out of there. I want you to get it. Well, you know what? I want you tell them, how about you figure out where you're trying to go with this? Because that's going to be crucial with the information I give you. And then you don't answer the call next time. When somebody calls you and then texts you, I want to ask you something, don't call, text and say what you want to ask me in the text. Now you get to see. Only reason I'm harping on this, because you will not be able to get where you're trying to go if you get caught up in somebody else stealing your time. I've made it my business to cut my time down to my wardrobe. I don't want to think about when I go in the closet what I'm going to wear. I got a lot of black sweatpants. I got a lot of Millionaire t-shirts. I got a lot of black t-shirts. I got if I need to throw something on, it's because of an event. I want y'all to think about visionaries. I want you to think about people who are in this billion-dollar bracket or several hundreds of millions of dollars. How many times we see them have the same clothes, the same shirt, the same jacket, and it don't even be the same. They just have a lot of it. A lot of it. Because they understand, I don't need to be defined by that. I got other things I'm thinking about all the time. I can't go in my closet now trying to figure out what I'm going to wear. Because when you think about what you're trying to wear, you're trying to impress you. You're trying to impress people that are seeing you. Lisa? Are you trying to impress the person that sees you, or are you trying to impress you? I made it my goal. I'm not focused. Your time, how can I put this? We treat our wardrobe like we do our goals. We'll go shopping. You got it, huh? We'll go shopping. We'll find something on the rack. Ooh, I'm going to wear this at this next event. Oh, I'm going to wear this at that party. Man, I'm going to wear this. We get the shirt, we get the jacket, we get the slacks. You ladies get the dress. We get it, and we get it, we take it home. I'm wearing this to this party. Time come for that event to come up. You go, oh, I know exactly what I'm wearing. You go to your closet, pull out that shirt. You pull out that jeans and pants. You ladies, you pull out that dress. You hang it there. You hang it right there so you can look at it. Then you're like, oh, that's it. As soon as it's time to get dressed, you throwing on the shirt. You got the blouse on. You throwing this. Then you look in the mirror and you be like, wait, you know what? This shirt would go better with these other pants I got. Now you grab the other pants. Now you put those pants, you be like, no, these pants always work with that other shirt. Now you grab the shirt. You take off what you went and bought, and you said, I will wear this to that next event. You put on something familiar that you know will get the reaction that you're looking for, because that other outfit was your reaction. That was your reaction. But now you put on something where you know everybody else always told you it looked good on you. It fits you right. Makes Sterling shoulders look hefty, right? So you put that away. How many times we've literally done that with our goals, our dreams, our aspiration? We will take it, put it away, and say, you know what? I'll get to that next time. I'm going to go back over here and focus on this job because it's familiar. The check is good. It's comfortable. I know what it's going to do. I know. And I'm not telling you not to do your job. What I'm telling you is get out of being comfortable. Get out of trying to impress people because you make $80,000. you make 100,000, and you like to have the conversation when people say, do you have a job where you work? Oh yeah, I work for here. What I realized, when people would ask me, where do you work? It wasn't just enough for you to have, yeah, I have a job. People ask you, what do you do? And now, when people ask you, what do you do? Now they say, oh, you make good money. What about the person who's an entrepreneur? And you ask them, I don't have a job, I work for myself. Why do we look down on the person who works for themselves like they don't make money? You don't have a job? No, I work for myself. We didn't even ask him how much he make. He could make $500,000 a year. All we heard was, I don't have a job, I work for myself. And we think he's a bum. The less you get, the furthest you could get away from worrying about what other people think about what you wear, what you do, the more you'll become an independent thinker, and you will care less about what that wardrobe looks like. You will care less about what people care about your goals and your business you're trying to create. Some of us are so caught up that if we tell somebody, I'm thinking about starting this business, now we're going to try to have to explain to them how you can take money you've made or saved to start a business and how much it can make. We're going to go, oh yeah, I want to do. See, you can't explain success to a person who's never understood failure. Man, come on, y'all, pick that up. How are you going to explain success to somebody who's never understood failure? I look forward to failing because I know success is right there. I look for, let me hurry up and get failing out the way. Let me hurry up and get this over with. Yeah, let me hurry up. And I fell 3 or 4 times. But success is going to feel so good. How are you going to have a conversation with people who've been so scared to even to know what failure looked like? You can't explain nothing to them. Somebody who succeeded in something, the story that they're going to give you is the last one on how they got to success. I've tried, I've done this, but let me tell you how it all came together. I go straight to, I don't like to tell people about when I bought my brownstone in New York. I bought that brownstone in 1999, didn't change my life. I still had to keep a job until the year 2021, I think I retired. That brownstone was great, made money, yeah, it's worth this much money, but guess what? That brownstone didn't leave me to retire. I always tell y'all about that $8,000 and that first property in Indianapolis that I started to invest out of state. Man, that changed my life. That thing there showed me I can get property. I can have somebody else who can manage it. I can buy a bunch of it. I don't have to do this. I got control of my time. I don't have to worry about it. I saw the exit sign at work. That brownstone had me under the lock and key of going, yeah, I bought the brownstone. Let me work 35 years, then I can retire. Now I can live in my brownstone and it could be worth a couple of $1 million or a couple of $100,000. And when I retire, I won't be able to pull that equity out the house because I don't have a job no more. People, I want y'all to follow this pattern. How many people we know purchase real estate, work till they retire, then they say, well, I'm going to sell my property, and then they move down south or back to their island, back to where they come from. Because you just left your job, refinance, you're going to need a job. You're going to need something on the application to show how you're going to make these payments. Now your house is worth all this money. We know tons of people like that. I know a bunch of them. And then we have this situation where, well, let me not jump too far ahead there, because then I'm gonna take you down another rabbit hole, right? So now the story of how I did the $8,000 is the most important one. You know how many people I've spoke to when I said, yeah, I'm gonna get real estate out of state, and they were like, well, you're gonna buy some real estate in another state? How you gonna go see it? I'm not gonna go see it. Somebody else is gonna take care of it. Huh? Nah, man, nah. You know how many people looked at me like my head was screwed on backwards? But then in 5 years, I left that job with almost $3 million worth of real estate. And I could have left the job in 3.5 years, but I stayed the additional 1.5 years so I could collect my medical benefits. So I did the 5 because I wanted my medical. All it takes is one sickness, and that's it. You broke. I gave them years. I wanted my medical. Y'all stick them up. Give me my medical. And I left. But even when I walked in there and I wanted to leave, and I told everybody, yeah, I came, I'm signing in my papers. They were like, wait, but you didn't do 35 years yet. You're gonna miss your pension. So I lost 1/3 of my pension, which is a chunk. I lost 1/3. But guess what? I wasn't thinking about that. I'm gonna make that back. I already made that money in real estate. I wanted my time. People, like, they couldn't hear me when I told them, yeah, I got this real estate out of state, and I have real estate worth almost $3 million, and I'm making $18,000, $20,000 a month. They couldn't hear that. All they heard was I was quitting. Like, they couldn't hear nothing else but, you leaving? Huh? They feeds us. They clothes us. They gives us our check on time. Why you wants to leave here? Days ain't do nothing wrong. They pays us on Friday. They lets us get an hour lunch. Why you wants to leave? I ain't finna to go nowhere. Those of you from the South know finna to go. So I understood just some people wouldn't get it. But now when I left, people would reach back to go, let me see if he answers his phone. Let me ask him questions. And I would answer the call for a few people. And I realized they just wanted to see, was I available to them? They wasn't going to do nothing with the information. Yo, I'm thinking about buying. So I'm on the phone. Yeah. Nobody did a damn thing. I can't get that time back. So what I want you to do is remember key things. Your relationships will be the building block to your wealth. Your time will be the catalyst of what helps you decide when it's time to start jumping from one box to the next. I want you to understand, you cannot control time. You are part of time. You will never be able to complete something because you are rushing to get it done in a certain amount of time. It will only be done when time allows it to be done. I had a powerful dream, and I'm kind of hesitant to share with y'all, right? And I told my partners, Ash and Marvin, about it. I'm a big believer in a lot of my dreams because a lot of them come true. Those of you who know, I dreamed that I was going to pop my Achilles and I was going to be on stage at the conference wearing a boot. I had a dream that I was going to be doing my conference wearing a boot. And I told Ash and Marv, and I said, listen, I had a dream I'm going to be on stage with a boot on because I popped my Achilles for the conference. They said, don't play any basketball for the conference. I went out there in Atlanta, played basketball, popped my Achilles. wearing a boot. And I know a lot of my dreams come true. So I pushed the hand of fate. So what time is it? I'm end out on this. I had a dream. I've met many people in business. I've come from music, know a lot of people. I've never met Kobe Bryant a day in my life. Never met him a day in my life. I had this dream about Kobe Bryant. We're walking in this, it's like a world fair. I'm talking thousands of people. We're walking through the crowd and I'm by his side and people are like, he's smiling. He's happy to be amongst the people. He's elated and they're asking him questions. And I'm right there by his side, you know, and people notice me, but they're like, this Kobe Bryant. and they're asking him questions like, Kobe, what would you do different? Kobe, if you had 24 hours, what would you do with it? Kobe, how do you felt you live your life? So it was clear to me they were speaking to post-Kobe. I was walking with post-Kobe. And as they're asking him this and his smile on his face and he's loving the people, he's enjoying everything, he's getting his love and he's getting his flowers and he's looking over at me. And then he says what I told you. I said, listen, you can't control time, man. You're a part of time. Said that to me. I can enjoy it. So then this dream ends. The next day I wake up, I'm like, damn, I dreamt about Kobe. So then I go back to sleep. The dream continues. This is where it got heavy for me. He's in a lobby waiting for me. I'm coming down these stairs like from a hotel and the crowd's around him. He's down there waiting for me again. And we walk and he's talking. And everybody asks him, this is when he hit me with the last line, which I told you. I said, you can't rush nothing to get done on your time. It will get done when time wants it to be done. I woke up, called my boy Ash. I said, Ash, I had another dream. He said, you already know how it is. You're in sync. But what it come from is because I've been rushing, trying to get stuff done. I sit at my desk and I'm like, oh, I got to make sure I get the community done. I got to make sure I get this done. I got to make sure I get this project done over here. I got to make sure I did. And I wasn't focusing on the moment. Like my time, enjoy it. Cherish it. Delegate stuff to other people so you can have your time. So I hired a new assistant so she can do some of my stuff so I can kick back. Like I don't take those like being able to see these things for granted. That's what I want y'all to, don't take signs for granted. If something's not coming to you, don't sit there and force it. If you got something to do, hire somebody to go on Upwork.com, get you delegated to somebody else to do it. But don't write your visions down, write your dreams down, have them transform into goals. Your goals are only dream if you can't see them written down in front of you. Your goals are only dreams if you can't see them written down in front of you. Guys, thank you so much for allowing me to get this out on my Mindset Mondays. It was great to have y'all here. Y'all are the best. I look forward to seeing you. We're gonna leave out with a little bit of tunes. And it's been an honor and a pleasure. You could have been anywhere in the world tonight. And as usual, I need y'all to do what? Always
seek knowledge.
Knowledge.
Sir.
Have a good night.